devastating the human element. Thank you very much for the point. Now I would request Kulwinder, who heads the global marketing and communication for Synercon. Very interesting position, sir, and we would like to know your views about this particular topic.
Thank you. I'm not from HR, but I'm from HR. Since Dr. Kulkarni is sitting to my left, I just realized I must say that I'm from HR. I'm actually a consumer of the HR services which comes from the HR function. And my personal experience over the decade and a half is that when you say HR, it stands for human resource. It doesn't say inhuman resource, right? Human element in HR is the most important element. And I'm going to cite a couple of examples, simple examples. Though my father gave me a name, Kulwinder, my wife doesn't call me with that name. She calls me Salman Khan. Please don't laugh. I was young, I was handsome, as like you guys. I had more hair on my head. And she called me a name which I cannot share here. This is not an appropriate forum for that. No, the point I'm trying to bring here is she must have studied HR, and she has. So she must have tried that first part on me before trying on her employees and team members. If there are issues between spouses, technology never works. It spoils the game. Yeah? I'm sure you guys read newspaper more than what I read. And what do they bring out? They bring out pain, agony, separations, whatever. If I have a challenge or my team member has a challenge, as Dr. Kulkarni said, I would be speaking with him, figuring it out that, all right, these are the things in my realms of things that I must do to keep him happy, keep him productive, ensure that his motivation level is higher. But if that job is not done appropriately by me, I would go up to the head of HR, who is probably the expert in that, and saying, sir, here is a gentleman, and I want him to be a part of my team, but he has some challenges, personal, professional, whatever, financial, spiritual, emotional, it could be anything. And that gentleman, who brings the experience of 2 decades or seeing thousands of employees around, would use the right technique, element, and he would not be writing a mail to him first, saying, show up, I need to sort your problems. He would be going up to him and asking him, saying, yeah, sit comfortable. Tell me, you want to have a cup of water? You want to have a glass of water? You want to have a cup of tea? Why don't we take a walk? If the guy smokes, he will also take him out for a smoke as well. He will ensure that there is a humane angle to it rather than a technology angle which could be putting up on probably on our internet saying XYZ has a problem, personal problem with his girlfriend, and we need to sort it. Nobody would do that. The human angle, the human part of it would stay, and I think that brings the best in us. About a decade ago, one of the HR heads, when I used to work in a city, Hyderabad, he told me, hey dude, you are a superstar. You won't believe the impact of those words stayed with me for a decade. Whenever I feel low, whenever I feel I'm not able to work to the optimum level that my boss expects me, I try to replay the words which that gentleman played about 10 years ago. If he would have written a mail saying you are a superstar, or you are a star, or you are a dude, I would have said, thank you, sir, appreciate it, greatly appreciate it, whatever. It would have gone through. But that guy came up to me, looked into my eyes and said, you're a superstar, you will overcome this problem. That stayed, and that's a human element, human touch. Coming back to technology part, I believe that we practice at Synercon. We use a day in a month, we call it digital detox. So which means, if I need to speak to Advait, and we are colleagues sitting next to each other in a cabin, and he handles HR and I handle marketing, I would not be going him saying, give me an approval kind of a thing. I would go up to him saying that, don't write a note to me today. We're going to talk it out. We will not be using technology today. So let's see how it works out. No SMSs, no WhatsApp, no emails. Believe me, sky doesn't come down. Same blue sky, it'll stay in the same manner. What has happened is, my connect with Advait as the head of HR has gone 10 notches up, because he will not be just making me sit there and saying, we have three points to discuss about, one about internal communication, one about the festivities, one about the new leave policy. He would be treating me with a cup of coffee, tea, and he will talk about his family, I will talk about my family. There will be a connection. And technology is not playing a role. Technology is not playing a role, and technology enhances that part. Probably only in the case of emergency, if he is having a trip to Hong Kong or in Switzerland, and I need to reach out to him, I can reach out to him on an email saying, there is something which needs your attention. Nothing more than that. That's my perspective, that technology not going to go away. Technology will enhance the HR effectiveness, HR's connect with the employees, and the output. Thank you.
Thank you, Kulwinder. Absolutely relevant points, and there are organizations, Kulwinder, which practice these kind of stuff. So I know a couple of organizations which says no email day, no meeting day. Probably what they do is just talk to each other over a period of time and exchange some notes, and probably have a chai samosa party sometime. So that really adds a lot of value in terms of having that personal connect with each other. Moving on, I would request Yogesh, who was working as the product development manager in ADP. And interestingly, his company works on the HR outsourcing part. So it would be very interesting to hear his comments around this subject.
Hello. So good afternoon. So sleepy good afternoon, right? Okay. So let me wake you up. So I'll start with a joke, okay? There's an HR guy, right? So we're talking about HR, and there's a student from MITSOT sitting there. They're discussing about a job offer. Everybody happy? Right. So you're discussing about a job offer, and the MITSOT student says, this all is fine, but you know what? I need to have double the salary which you're offering. Oh, okay. So the HR guy says, you need double the salary. Good. What else? He says, I need I need to come anytime I want to come to office. Okay, we have flexible hours. Hold on, he says. I want to leave anytime I want to leave. Okay, fine. What else? So he says, I decide whom I work with. Okay, great, given. Is that enough? Is that all? He says, yeah, that's all. So the HR guy says, on top of that, we're going to give you a Mercedes to come to office every day. Wonderful, right? We're going to give you a home, a 4-bedroom home in Pune. Okay? So this guy is like amazed. Man, this is the best company. I should be working for this company. Then he says, what else? He says, you're going to go holidays for a month in a year. The guy is astounded. He says, मजाक कर रहे हो क्या? So the HR guy says, शुरू किसने किया? So this is the human element you definitely don't want to miss, right? From an HR point of view, and this technology will not bring to you. Okay, so now that I've woken you up, I'm from a company called ADP, which does outsourced HR services, and I'm from the product development. I worked on talent acquisition suites, talent management suites, and benefits administration suites. So I build them up. I build them up for outsourcing companies as such. This is all US market, but talent acquisition, talent management can be used anywhere. Talent management is more performance planning, or performance management, and succession planning, those kind of things. So Gartner says that 90% of HR functions or services are going to be automated. Right? So Gartner, in the latest report, or a while back, maybe a year back, says that 90% of HR functions are going to be automated. Right? What we also see, or how the market is segmented, is this small business segment, or the small segment which has employees below around 49, 59. So a range from 1 to 40, 1 to 50. Those won't be so much into all HR outsourcing or all HR automation systems. They will do in-house. They might outsource something, which is payroll we see in the US. In India, that's been happening now. The middle segment is the best where you see a lot of systems being used. But they use an essential kind of a system. So you see payroll, you see benefits, those kind of systems being used at the middle segment. The top segment, which is called the national segment in the US, and the range of employees is somewhere from 1,000 plus, you see a lot of systems being used. And in large companies, like 10,000 plus employees and all, you see talent acquisition products being used. So this is how the segmentation goes from an HR automation point of view. This is how you see people using technology, okay? I'm going to stop here and let the discussion go, not get into the further details. But my point of view is this. HR is going to take off a lot of essential and commoditized or services which essentially don't need a human element. Okay? So all the operational kind of things are definitely going to be HR. But then what is HR going to do? Right? So the question I leave with, and maybe we can get into the debate, is what is HR going to focus on? What are the areas? I think they're touching upon a few things here. What is that they're going to go into? Thank you.
Thank you, Yogesh. I think this kind of technology interventions probably will only help HR to focus more with the business and less with the tactical kind of stuff that they have been doing for a long time. And thanks to companies like yours, which will help us to function in a much more value-added way. Moving on, Kaustubh, we would like to know your perspective, especially from an HR perspective again, being an important part of persistent systems.
Thank you, friends. I'm very fortunate that most of the things relating to HR have already been explained. So I'm just going to tell you the essence of the whole thing, and I'm very sure all of my friends are going to agree on that. What is happening presently is that we are mixing up two things. We are saying technology and we are saying HR. What is technology? Technology is a tool. Agreed? What is HR? HR is an attitude. It's a way of living life. It's a way of interaction. These are two different things entirely. Let's take an example. I'm just putting up another point. Say you are driving a car, okay, and something happens and one of your wheel covers drops out. What happens to the car? Car is still running. Okay? I'll tell you why I'm taking this particular example. Similar thing happens with, say, wiper breaks down, or say tomorrow even the horn breaks down. You may not be able to drive in Pune, but yes, still you can work with the car. So what is happening just now is the unessential parts of HR which were happening before are now being taken care by technology. He gave an example of, say, we had to make 3 copies of the same memo and distribute it. Now today, with a press of a button, you can make n number of copies and send it to. That's also creating a problem, incidentally. So similar things are happening, and you'll be able to elaborate on your own on this particular point. So what is happening is the unessential parts of HR are being stripped out. Only the essential parts of HR are now remaining. And as the technology is picking up more and more things, these things are becoming more and more prominently felt. When we say that, is HR going to go away or is HR going to get affected, I don't think ever it will get affected. That is because what you convey when you are managing a particular person, you are doing HR. Every manager is an HR individual, whether he likes it or not. He has to get things done from the people. He has to get other people to his side